Your paycheck hit last Friday. It's Tuesday. And you're already wondering where half of it went. You didn't do anything dramatic. No big purchase. No luxury splurge. No vacation you can't afford. Just coffee here. Delivery there. A subscription you forgot about. Something from Amazon at midnight that felt necessary at the time. And somehow, the money is just gone. Here's the thing nobody says out loud enough. Saving money isn't always an income problem. Most of the time, it's a behavior problem. And behavior can change. Japan has some of the most disciplined savers in the world. Not because Japanese people earn more, but because they've built specific habits around money that most of us were never taught. Today, I'm sharing 7 of those habits. No overnight wealth promises. No skip your coffee and retire at 40 nonsense. Just practical shifts that make your money harder to waste and easier to actually feel. Stay until habit 7. Because it changes the question completely. Not how much can I save, but what is my money actually for? Let's get into it. Habit 1. Pay your future self before anyone else gets a chance. Most people handle money in one direction. Paycheck arrives. Bills go out. Spending happens. Life gets lived. And whatever survives at the end of the month becomes savings. The problem? Usually, nothing survives. A Japanese-inspired approach flips that completely. Decide what you're saving before you start spending. Even if the amount feels small. Your paycheck hits on Friday. Instead of thinking, I'll save whatever's left this month, the mindset becomes, this amount is already gone. The rest is what I have to work with. That's a completely different psychological signal. You're no longer treating savings as optional. You're treating it like a bill to your future self. Set an automatic transfer for payday. Your brain never gets to negotiate with the money. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If you can see extra money sitting in your checking account, your brain immediately starts treating it as available money. Remove it before that happens. And the decision is already made. Habit 2. Write down what you spend. Not to punish yourself. To understand yourself. This connects to Kakeibo, a traditional Japanese household budgeting practice that's been around since 1904. But it isn't about complicated spreadsheets. It's about one moment of awareness. Before you spend. 4 questions. Do I need this? Can I genuinely afford it? Will I actually use it? What do I have to give up to buy it? That's it. Because something strange happens when you actually write a purchase down. A $12 impulse buy doesn't feel like much in the moment. But when you see 20 of them sitting on the same page, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. 12 here. 18 there. 27 because you were too tired to cook. None of them felt like a financial disaster. Together, they quietly become one. And here's what makes Kakeibo different from regular expense tracking. It doesn't just show you where your money went. It shows you why it went there. Maybe you're not overspending on clothes. Maybe you're spending because you're stressed. Maybe you're not addicted to delivery. Maybe you're just exhausted after work. Once you understand the trigger, you can fix the habit instead of just fighting the purchase. Habit 3. Stop letting discounts make decisions for you. This is where things get quietly sneaky. A product is 30% off. Free shipping. Limited time offer. Only 2 left in stock. And suddenly your brain says, okay, I basically have to buy this. But here's the catch. A discount doesn't save you money. If you never needed the thing in the first place, you didn't save $40. You spent $60. Japanese minimalism offers a useful mindset shift here. Before asking, is this cheap? Ask, would I still want this if there was no discount? If the answer is no, close the tab. Because retailers don't need you to buy expensive things. They just need you to buy more things. The easiest way to interrupt that pattern is to create space between wanting and buying. Try a 48-hour rule for anything non-essential. See something you like? Save the link. Walk away. Come back 2 days later. If the excitement is still there, and it fits your budget, buy it without guilt. But if the feeling disappeared? You just saved money without ever feeling deprived. Habit 4. Use what you already paid for. There's a Japanese concept called mottainai. It's the quiet grief of letting something valuable go to waste before it's time. And it goes way beyond food. Think about your own life right now. Groceries going bad in the back of the fridge. A closet full of clothes you forgot you owned. Subscriptions running in the background you haven't opened in months. Products you bought and never finished. We often think saving money means finding cheaper versions of things. Sometimes it's simply finishing what you already paid for. Before ordering dinner, check the fridge. Before buying another shirt, open your closet. Before subscribing to something new, count what you're already paying for. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about making sure your money actually delivers the value you paid for. And there's a quiet psychological shift that happens here. When you start noticing waste, you naturally stop thinking, I can afford it, and start thinking, is it actually worth it? That single shift can change your relationship with money completely. Habit 5. Don't let your lifestyle grow faster than your freedom. Here's one of the biggest traps in modern life. You get a raise. You feel good. So you upgrade the apartment. Then the car. Then the phone. Then the restaurants. And somehow, you're earning more, but not feeling any richer. That's lifestyle inflation. And it's sneaky because it doesn't feel like overspending. It feels like progress. The Japanese-inspired approach here is simple. When your income increases, don't automatically let every expense increase with it. If you gain an extra $500 a month, maybe $200 improves your lifestyle, and the other $300 improves your future. Savings, debt repayment, investing, an emergency fund that means one unexpected bill doesn't destroy your peace. You should absolutely enjoy your money. The point is, make sure your future gets a raise too. Because earning more doesn't create freedom. If every extra dollar immediately becomes another monthly expense. Habit 6. Build a system. Stop relying on willpower. Japan is one of the most cash-reliant economies in the developed world. Over 60% of daily transactions still happen in cash. And there's a psychological reason for that. When you physically hand money to someone, you feel it leave. Digital spending doesn't have the same weight. Tap. Done. Move on. Which is exactly why it's so easy to overspend digitally. You don't need to go full cash. But you can borrow the principal. Make the better financial decision. The easier one. Delete saved credit card information from shopping sites. Turn off promotional notifications. Unsubscribe from marketing emails. Set savings to transfer automatically on payday. Create a separate account for bills, so it never feels like spendable money. Give yourself a fixed amount each month for guilt-free spending. Now you're not fighting yourself every day. You've built an environment where the smarter choice happens automatically. Because financial discipline isn't about becoming a completely different person overnight. It's about designing your environment so that person becomes easier to be. Habit 7. Spend on the life you actually want. This is the habit that makes all the others matter. Because saving isn't the final goal. Money is a tool. The question is, what do you want that tool to build? Japan has a concept called ikigai, often described as your reason for being. The place where what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what sustains you quietly overlap. When you bring that thinking into your finances, spending stops being about showing what you can afford. It becomes about supporting the life you actually care about. Two people get the same raise. One upgrades everything immediately. New phone. Better restaurants. More subscriptions. More of everything. The other asks one question first. Will this make my actual life better? Then they invest in a skill that grows their career. Or take their parents somewhere they've always wanted to go. Or build an emergency fund. So one bad month doesn't erase 6 good ones. Both people spent money. Only one asked what it was for. Before your next bigger purchase. 3 questions. Will this improve my real life? Will I still value this 6 months from now? Does it support the person I'm actually trying to become? If yes, spend without guilt. If no, you just found something you don't actually need. That's the difference between being cheap and being intentional. Being cheap asks, how can I spend the least? Being intentional asks, what deserves my money? That second question is more powerful than any budget spreadsheet. You don't need to start all 7 habits tomorrow. Pick one. The one that hit closest to something real in your own life. Try it for 7 days. Keep what works. Because financial freedom rarely arrives from one big decision. It comes from small shifts that nobody else notices, but you make anyway. Which habit are you starting this week? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. And if someone you know keeps watching their paycheck disappear without understanding why, send this to them. Because sometimes the most generous thing you can give someone is a different way to think about their money.